Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is December 23rd, 2021, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Tesla stock takes off again. Once again, it comes to the limelight above $1,000 a share. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. But first, major economic events of the day. 3:30 South African time out of the United States. We have a monthly core price index coming out. I think it's one of the last most important numbers of the month. Now, looking at the various markets, looking at the Forex pairs, British pound, the euro, and the Aussie dollar all gained versus the USD at the top of that range. And looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ pushed higher yesterday, to everyone's surprise. Now, looking at commodities, gold bounces, if you called it a bounce, and oil on the top of the range. Now, looking at the stocks, Tesla, nice little pivot upwards while the tech stocks lift the markets higher. And lastly, Bitcoin tapering off in the crypto sector. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're looking at the Euro USD. This is not a big move, okay? But it's once we get to this type of area, it becomes very interesting. Okay, we're at that top of the range. Look at that. Okay, we're highlighting that for you right there. This is the bottom of the range. Okay, we're looking at about a 60 to 70 pip range here, but we're at the top. So this becomes a little bit interesting as the markets consolidate at the top. Now, what's happening here is that it's happening across the board. The euro, if we look at the GBP USD, also at the top of the range, but look at what's happening with the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar actually, no, this is the GBP, which is the top of the range, and the Aussie dollar is right there as well on the top of the range. Now, what the difference is here is that on a 4-hour chart and a daily chart, where it becomes a little bit more important, look at what's going on in the Aussie USD. We're seeing a break in the moving average. That's a very positive sign. That's a very bullish formation. Okay, that's a very, very important sign right there, where it breaks above and closes above the 30-day moving average. Okay, you see the both averages kind of consolidate and almost cross over each other. Now, to see that this sustains, I'd like to see it get to this area, 72.90-ish level. So perhaps we will get that extension later today. So keep in mind that this potentially can develop into a further rally going into the end of the year. Now, looking at commodities, gold, let's take a look at it, 1806. But what I like about this is that it's consolidating, also breaking above its 30-day moving average. So it does bounce, but it's bouncing above that 30-day moving average, which is giving me a little bit more conviction that it's going to break a little bit higher. Okay, that's an important element. Now, looking at oil, also at the top of its range at 73.45, but I'd like to see it continue and extend its gains here that it had from 67 up to 72. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, this is where it becomes interesting. Yesterday, we were trading at 35,543, and we popped out of that yesterday, okay, to the 650-ish level. That's 100 points more, but it's important because that was a resistance-ish area. Now, we are hitting resistance-ish area at 35,700. And remember, we rallied all the way up to 36,000 after the FOMC last week and then teetered out. But this is what's happening in the markets. The markets are volatile. The markets are still indecisive of which way it wants to go. And the markets are still kind of living in this reality that we're living in that's not really anything we've ever seen in history, okay? And basically what we're living in a pandemic-ish area where the markets are being sustained by the central governments. So looking at the NASDAQ as well, NASDAQ also extended its gains yesterday to 16,172. And this is all on the back of the major tech stocks. So let's take a look at them. We're looking at Apple. Had a big day yesterday. Look at that, from 172 up to 174. If we look at Facebook, also a little bit dead here. Okay, Facebook not really giving it to us. Microsoft did gain to 332, high of 344. So we're not that far off of it. And looking at Tesla, okay, this is really where it was at. We're looking at a 4-hour chart breaking above that 30-day moving average, and we're closing at above 1K. Okay, which is psychologically a very important number. So this may extend its rally going into the end of the year. 1064 is where I give it. So it does have still about 60 to 50 points that it can continuously go. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, teetered out, tapered off. I expected it to continue yesterday after it broke that above that 30-day moving average on the 4-day. Okay, didn't break it on the daily, but you did break it on the 8-day moving average. Now we are receding here to 48,441, but maybe this is a bullish flag for us to continue going higher. Okay, but you can't really look at this consolidation. This is really just very, very tight. I mean, it's not a big number tight because it's a $5,000 range, but I mean, for Bitcoin that trades in like multiple thousands, okay, I'm talking about 10 to 15K, that's a major consolidation. So keep that in mind as we look at that later today. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. God bless. Thank you.